The creator economy is growing like never before, and with that, the demand of video editors is skyrocketing. Everyone is creating, but they need video editors in order to make their ideas come true to life. I have been working as a freelance video editor for more than 4 years now. I have worked with some major YouTube channels, some big real estate companies, some software companies, and hundreds of different clients from different walks of life. And that's why I'm creating this video, because I have real experience with real clients in a real world. And by the end of this video, I'm not promising you'll be a great editor, but I'm sure you'll be able to edit your videos, add sound effects, add different transitions to your videos, and you'll have a basic understanding of the software. And today, as you already know, we're going to use Adobe Premiere Pro because it is a industry standard software. And if you're someone who go to the comment section and type, "The video starts from," you can go ahead and do that right now. This is the timestamp. Let's get into it. Now let's just open Adobe Premiere Pro and see what we're working with. Now this is how software gonna greet you when you will open it for the first time. Here you can see all of your recent projects, but we're not gonna dive into that. We're just gonna open a new project. We're gonna name it sample, and this is your project location. This is where you're gonna store your project file. Just click this arrow button, choose location wherever you want to save your project file, and click OK, and then create. Now this is how your software will look like when you will open your project for the first time. I'm going to give you a quick overview of all the panels before we import any media and do the editing. Now this panel where you can see your project and project name, this is your media pool. This is where you will save all of your audios, your images, your B-rolls, your A-rolls, your drone shots, your sound effects, your music. Everything will be stored here. And next to it, we have media browser. Media browser is like file explorer you have in your Windows. This is where you will go to import any video or audio in your project. There are different ways to do this, but we're going to talk about it later. And next to it, we have libraries. Libraries is like your common assets that you will be needing in all of your softwares that Adobe provides. For example, Lightroom, Photoshop, After Effects, and whatever you have. And then we have info. Info means if you select any clip or audio track in your timeline, info tab will give you all the information about that audio clip or that video clip. Like what is the resolution of the video, what is the bitrate of the video, all the information you can find in the information tab. And next to it, we have effects. It is exactly as it sounds. Effects panel will give you all the effects that you will need to apply to your video or your audio. For example, your drop shadow, your Gaussian blur, your crop effect, everything that you will need to apply to your videos or audios, you can find that effect in here. And next to it, you have your 8 tools. These are the tools that you will be going to most when you edit your videos. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of this. On the very top, you have your selection tool. Selection tool is like cursor tool for your Windows or your Mac. With selection tool, you will select all of different panels in your software, your videos, your audios, your effect control, your program window, your source window. Everything will be accessed via selection tool. And next to it, you have your forward tool or backward tool. We're going to talk about it later when we actually edit the video because it's hard to explain it without showing you what it does. And next to it, we have a ripple edit tool. This is also a very interesting tool, but I'm going to show you how it works rather than talking about it. Next to it, we have a razor tool or blade tool, whatever you want to call it. This is a tool you will be needing to make cuts in your videos or your audios. Shortcut for this tool is B. Now this is the shortcut you want to remember when you actually edit your videos, because you're gonna come back to it again and again and again. It will be much more easier to you if you just remember this shortcut. And then we have our slip tool. Again, this is what I'm going to show you when we actually edit the video. Now next to it, you have your pen tool. Pen tool is what you're going to use to make masks in your videos. And next to it, you have your shape tool. This is what you're going to use to make different shapes in your videos. Now you can also do that with your pen tool. And in the second last position, we have our hand tool. Now hand tool is what you're going to use to move around your timeline, whether it is horizontal or vertically. And at the very last, you have your text tool. Text tool, exactly as it sounds, it will help you make text in your videos. And then you have your timeline. This is where all the magic will happen. This is where you will make all the cut. This is where you will do your sound effects, your music. Everything will be done here. And you will see everything in your program window. This is where you will be seeing all of your videos, your graphics, all of your masks, every shape, every text. You will be seeing your final product in the program window. This is what going to render out when you actually render the video. And left to it, you have your source. Source is like, for example, if you imported a 10-second clip into the software and you only want 3 seconds of it. Now just double click on that video, you will see it in the source panel, and you can make in and out points. Like you want it from 3 seconds to 5 seconds, you can actually make points in the source panel that I want it from 3 seconds and 5 seconds and drag it down in your timeline. This is what source panel does. And next to it you have your effects control. It is exactly as a sound. Effects control will give you all the controls of your effects that you will apply to your videos or your audios. And next to it you have your audio clip mixer. This is where you will mix all of your audios from different tracks in your timeline. You're probably not going to need this if you're watching this video, as this is for beginners. And next to it you have your metadata. Metadata will give you all the information about your video or your audio, whatever you will select. It will give you everything, every information that you want about your clips or your audios, you can find it here. It is like info panel, the one that we talked about here, but in more detail. Now that you have basic understanding of all the panels, let's just import some media, make a short little sequence, add some sound effects, add some music, use all these tools as we talked about, and take it from there. But before we import any media, the one thing I want you to remember is that organization is the key to editing. If you want to do freelance work like me for different clients from all over the world, they would want you to be organized at the very least. So before starting a project, keep everything organized. Make folders in your file explorer, like this is my A roll, this is my B roll, this is my music, this is the sound effects that I'm going to use. And definitely you're going to need different music, different sound effects when you're actually making the edit. But when you're downloading those new sound effects and new music, add it to those folders which you have created in your file explorer. It will save you so much time. Believe me, take it from me, I'm doing this for 4 years, more than 4 years now. And now let's just import some media. Now there are different ways how you can import. What I like to do is, as I said before, make your folders, make your bins before you actually make your bins. For example, I have already created all the folders that I'm going to need in the software. For example, A roll, my B roll, music, and sound effects. I'm just going to select A roll, B roll, music and sound effect and just drag it in the media pool. And here it automatically created all these bins. In File Explorer we call them folders, but in here we call them bins. Like you have a different bin for sound effect, your A roll, your B roll and your music. And this is one method how you can import. Let me show you the another one. I'm going to go to B roll, double click here and select all the B-rolls that I want to import in the software. Now I have imported all the B-rolls and music that I'm going to use to make a short little sequence. In fact, I have already made that sequence and now I'm going to play it for you, and in the bottom of your screen you can also see the timeline where I have made cut. It will be easier for you to notice. I know this was a very simple edit, I just made cut on the beat. I wanted it to be simple, that was my intention behind it. Because now I can show you all the tools that I have used to actually make this edit. This way you can actually see how all the tools work. Now first thing first, we need to make a sequence on which we actually edit the video. Now what is a sequence? Sequence is like a frame for your videos. For example, you have photo frames for your photos. It is exactly like that, but for videos. You will decide in the very start what is the frame for your videos. For example, to make a sequence, just go to your media pool, hit right click, new item and sequence. Here, we are not going to select any preset from here. Just go to settings and choose custom in your editing mode. Below that, you have time base. Time base is like frame rate for your timeline. If you're shooting everything in 60 fps, all of your A rolls or if your B rolls, you can select 60 fps here. But if you're shooting all of your A rolls or B rolls in 30 fps or 20 fps or 24 fps, you can select that time frame here. I'm shooting this video in 23.976 frame rates and that's what I'm going to select. And then you have your frame size. Frame size is like aspect ratio for your videos. If you're shooting everything on 4K, 2840 into 1920 is a good aspect ratio, but let's just change it to 1920 by 1080. And below that, we're not going to change anything. Just make sure your display format is also same as your time base. And then just name your sequence. I'm going to name this one as sample and click OK. And this is what timeline will look like. And these are your video tracks where you will put all of your videos, and below it you have your audio tracks where you will put all of your audio, and below it you have your master mixer. What this will do is, if you increase the volume of your master mixer, volume of all the audio tracks will be increased, and vice versa. If you decrease the volume of your master mixer, volume of all the audio tracks will be decreased. And up here you have your time code. This will reflect where is your playhead. Playhead is what you will use to scrub in your timeline. And below it we have this weird button. I like to call it sequence button. If I have it on disabled, and if I drag the sequence which I have used to create the video which I have just showed you, this is what happens. It will combine. First of all, why is it zoomed in the program window? Because the video I have showed you is in 4K and the timeline that we have created is 1080. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click on it and scale to frame size. This is exactly as it sounds. It will just scale the video down to the aspect ratio of the sequence. But the main thing is, all of the clips which I have used to create this sequence are nested when I keep this button turned on. But if I keep it turned off, this is what happens. It will give you all of the files separate as they are in the original sequence. All of your sound effects are separate, audio clips are separate, all of your video clips are separate as they are in the original sequence. This is what basically this weird icon does. Now I'm just going to delete this one, move this all forward, and next to it we have snap tool. Let me show you what it does. If I move this here and turn it on, see how it is snapping to the clip. This is what this will do. This tool will help you to snap to other things in your timeline, like how it does here and to every cut basically. This is what it will do. And then we have our linked selection tool. If I keep this on and drag this clip from here to here, see what happens. The audio track is also moving with the video track. But if I turn it off, you can move your video track or your audio track separate to each other. And next to it we have our markers. Markers is like notes for your timeline. Let's say I want to add a marker here. So instead of clicking here, I'm just going to click M, which is a shortcut for markers. See this thing? You can double click on it to open it and give it a name. Let's say scale the clip to aspect ratio. And that's it. This is just one example. Let's say you are editing a video for your client and you're on a call with that client, and that client is giving you feedback on the video. You can go to the timeline while on a call and make a marker. Just press M, double click, and you can use this comment section whatever your client wants you to do in that particular frame. And then you have this wrench icon, which is like setting for all of the things that you want to see here. I'm not gonna get into it. And you can see CC is grayed out, which stands for closed caption. As there is no caption in the video, that's why it's grayed out. But you can use transcription tool within the software to transcribe your videos. Very helpful. Now let's use all of the media that we have imported and make a sequence from the very start. I'm just going to delete everything in here because we are going to create everything from scratch. Let's put the music first in the timeline. I'm going to go to the music pin. I have already selected the music. I'm just going to drag it down here. And also I'm going to make a cut here. C is the shortcut for blade tool. Again, keep this in mind. Okay, this is the music that we are working on. What we are going to do is we are going to make a cut on every beat. Let's just use our B-roll. Now this is the first video that we want to use in our sequence. I'm going to double click on it and it will appear on our source panel. Now as you can see, this video is 3.5 minutes long, but we only want to use 2 seconds of it. So what we are going to do is we are going to scrub through this video and see which part we like. Right around here where I turn the page, and I'm going to make a in point here. The shortcut for that is I, and I'm going to go forward and make a out point. The shortcut for that is O. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this icon, drag video only. When you do this, see what happens? Only video will come in the timeline. If I don't do that, if I drag the whole thing, The audio will also come in the timeline, but we don't want audio in the timeline. So I'm going to delete that. See how this is zoomed in again, because this is in 4K, the timeline is in 1080p. So we are going to right click on it and select scale to frame size. This will do the trick. Now this is a clip that we have used. I'm just going to play it. And this is the beat right here. And this is where we're going to make a cut. But we don't want this exact part of this clip. We want the part where I'm actually turning the page, like right around here. So instead of doing this and making a cut again, I'm going to use slip tool. But instead of hitting that icon there, I'm going to press Y, which is a shortcut for slip tool, and see what happens. We slipped our video from point A to point B using the slip tool. You can use this tool while you're editing. It will save you so much time. Instead of going to the source panel again, making in and out point again and dragging it again in your timeline. So instead of that, just use the slip tool. And now we are going to use the second B-roll. Click here, select the video that you want to use. I have already made in and out point. I'm just going to drag it here. Again, this is in 4K, the video is in 1080p. I'm just going to go and scale to frame size. This is the part that we want, and I am just going to make a cut on this beat. Like that. And now I'm going to do this for all of the B-rolls. Just make your in point and out point and drag the video down to your timeline. If you are following along with this tutorial, I'm going to leave some resources in the description where you will find links to free stock websites. You can visit those websites to download your free music and stock videos to follow along. I'm just going to select all of my B-roll and put it in my timeline. Now I'm done with my B-roll. I have made all the in points and out points and dragged into our timeline for this particular section of our music. Now instead of doing anything on the timeline like applying color grade or graphics or anything, I'm going to show you how all of these tools work. Like I said in the very start that I will explain it while editing. Now first we have our selection tool. Selection tool will help you select anything in your timeline, program panel, your source window, your B-rolls, your media graphic, everything will be accessed via this selection tool. And on the second, we have our backward tool and forward tool. If I select this tool, the shortcut for that is A. Like for example, if I make a cut here, shortcut for that is C, and shortcut for forward tool and backward tool is A. I can select the whole thing with just one click. I'm just going to drag it here. As you can see, all of the assets that are in right side are placed in a different position in just one go without me having to go and select everything manually like this. And if your timeline is too big, you can't do that. You have to use this tool. And same thing can be done with all the assets that are in left side. Shortcut for that is Shift A. Here you go. And this is what this tool will do. And next to it we have our ripple edit tool. Shortcut for that is B. Let's say you want to delete this part of your edit. Now what you can do is press C with your blade tool, click here, select this, delete, select this empty space and hit delete. Now if you deleted that empty space, what you just did is called ripple edit. But you can do all of this with just one tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo everything. The shortcut for that is Ctrl Z. And if you're on Mac, Command Z. Now if I select my ripple edit tool, the shortcut for that is B. Now if you hover over any clip in your timeline, you can see this icon. If you can see this icon, this means you have selected ripple edit tool. Now I'm going to the out point of this clip and see how the icon changes. See, and you can see the arrow is pointing towards left. If I go to its adjacent clip, see how the icon changes to the right direction. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back here, select all of this and delete it to this point, and see how empty space is automatically deleted. This is what ripple edit tool will do, and it will save you a lot of time in your editing. So remember, the shortcut for ripple edit is B. Now I'm just going to undo everything. The shortcut for that is Ctrl Z. If you're on a Mac, Command Z. Now after that we have our razor tool or blade tool. We have already used it. After that we have our slip tool, we have also used that as well. And next to it we have our pen tool, shortcut for that is P. And now let's imagine you want to draw a rectangle here. Just click here and there you go. This is what pen tool will do. There are a lot of things that you can do with your pen tool, but as this video is for beginners, I'm just going to show you very basic things that any tool will do. Now after that we have our shape tool. If you want to draw a rectangle, you can just do it with that as well. And then you have your ellipse tool. You can make a shape like that. And then you have your polygon tool. You can make a polygon with that as well. But I'm just going to undo everything. And next to it we have our zoom tool. It will help you zoom in and out in your timeline, but instead of using this tool every time, just press Alt on your keyboard and scroll your mouse wheel. This will help you zoom in and out in your timeline. And at the very last we have our type tool. Shortcut for that is T. Very convenient, right? Now just click here and type whatever you want to type. I'm just going to type sample. And if you want to edit your text, what you can do is select your text, go to Windows and select this Essential Graphic tab and just select whatever you want to select here, align it, choose whatever font you want to use, whatever size you want it to be, any color you want. You can also add stroke to it, and there's a lot of things that you can do inside that panel. And this is how all of these tools work. I know this is a lot of information for a beginner, but if you practice this day by day, all of this will come to you, I promise you that. And now we are going to apply some effects to our videos and use effect control to manipulate our effects. Now first thing first, we are going to add those cinematic bars to our video. There are different methods to do this, but what we are going to do is we are going to go to our media pool, hit right click, new item and use adjustment layer and press OK. I'm going to drag this adjustment layer here, make it this big, select it, go to your effects and search crop. This is the first effect that you will apply and just double click it. Here now go to your adjustment layer, select it, and as you can see in your effects control there is a crop tool applied to your adjustment layer. Now we are going to add some values here on the top 13% and in the bottom 13%. Now I have used different values in past for this effect, but I think 13% looks more cinematic to me. This is just my preference. You can use whatever value you want according to your preference. Now this is the benefit of applying crop effect to your adjustment layer instead of all of your original clips, because you don't have to apply it again and again for every clip. Now I am going to show you how I color grade my videos and how you can color grade your videos. Just go to your Windows, go to workspaces and click color. This is the workspace Adobe provide just for color grading, but of course you can also color grade your videos in the editing tab. Again, I am not going to apply my color grade to the original clip, but I am going to use the adjustment layer again and apply my color grade to that adjustment layer. So I'm going to go here, make a new adjustment layer and name this one color grade. Right click, rename, just type color grade, drag it here in your timeline. I'm just going to make it this big and select your color grade. This is very important. Go to your limitary scopes, select your color grade, and these are the scopes that are going to help you to not go over the rails while you color grade your videos. This is your parade graph, this is your vector scope, and this is your waveform. These scopes will help you so much while you color grade your videos. For example, if I select my color grade, if I change the temperature from here to here, and as you can see all of the values are changing. If I keep it here, you can see the red color is spiking 100. You never want that. You never want your color to peak above 100. As you can see, the vector scope is also showing that the red color and yellow color is most prominent in this frame, and same thing in the parade scope. So I'm going to undo that. Just double click on this circle. It's going to come back right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my ISO a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit of contrast as well. I'm not going to change my highlights right now. By the way, these are your highlights. These are your midtones in the very middle, and in the very bottom you have your shadows. So I'm just going to decrease my shadows. I want this clip to be dark, and also I'm going to make the blacks little bit deeper. And see how much we change this clip just using these toggles. This is after, this is before, after, before. Now I'm going to increase the temperature of the clip. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And I know you're a beginner, that's why you're watching this video. Try not to overdo your colors. Beginners usually tend to do that, so I'm just advising you, try not to do that. Instead, just mess around with these few tabs. Just select this curve tab and increase your highlights a little bit and decrease your shadows a little bit. See how much of a difference this made. Look at that. And now I'm going to apply a LUT here. LUT is lookup table. If you don't know what it means, don't worry about it right now. But if you do know what it means, and if you want to use the same LUT that I'm using, I'm going to leave the link in the description for this. You can download for free and see how much of a difference we have already made just by changing few toggles. And these are the very basic things that you can do in your color grading. There's a lot more that you can do. It will take me hours just to talk about color grading, and still it won't be enough. But as you're starting out, playing with these few toggles will help you prepare for what next to come in color grading. And now I'm going to do the same thing for different clips. Mostly I'm going to use that adjustment layer which we have just created, but I'm just going to change few things here and there according to different clips. So I have completed the color grade on all of the videos, and let me just play it for you. I know there is a little too much contrast in there, but I like my videos to be a little bit punchy color wise. And at the very last, I am going to apply fade out to my video as well as my audio. Just select your video and press Ctrl D. This is how you apply cross dissolve in your video. There you go. And we are going to do the same thing with our audio. Just select your audio, go to your effects, go to your audio transition, go to your crossfade and exponential fade. You're gonna come here and drag it here. Now give it a listen what it does to the audio. See how your volume is going from 100% to 0% gradually. This is what it does to your audio. If you don't apply this, your audio will have a very disruptive cut, which doesn't sound good. Now we are done with the video. Now we are just going to export this. And to export it, you can see in the top left corner of your screen, export. Here you can name your file. Now I'm going to name it my first edit. We are not going to change anything here. I don't want to make this confusing for you, but we are going to change our location. To do that, just click there. I'm going to save it to the desktop and save. And just don't do anything else. Just press export. Pretty fast. And now I'm going to play this video for you. I hope you liked the video. I hope you followed the tutorial along with me, and if you learned something and if you have any question about any of the thing that we talked about, let me know in the comment section. I will try my best to get back to you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.